Hi there, and welcome to Dork Wars, the podcast, your galactic hub for all things Star Wars and more. My name's Blake, and I'm here with three of the best hosts in the galaxy. First off, we've got the funny one with some brand new sound equipment. What's up, Wesley?
Welcome to the rebellion, fellas. How we feeling? What's up, dorks?
And we've got the commentator, Andrew.
Here I am.
What?
I'll back it.
That was like Asian French. I don't know.
Frasian.
That was like Nemoidian French.
That's
Old Nemoidians.
Nemoidian French. I'm on brand.
Half Gorman, half Nemoidian.
The Freudian. And we also have the Jedi Archive, Dietrich.
I've been watching Star Wars since I was 6 years old.
That was a good one. So, guys, we are on the third set of episodes of Andor tonight. We'll get to that a little bit later. Episodes 7, 8, and 9. So definitely stick with us. We're going to get there. We got some news first. Before I get to that, though, like and subscribe to this video. Make sure you're getting all the updates from the dorks. That way you know every time we stream. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any Dork Wars, because I would hate to miss it. And if I miss it, that'd kind of be a problem because I'm on it. But anyways, let's get to some nerdy news. Now hear this.
Now hear this! Now hear this!
Now you hear this, whoever you are.
First up, George Lucas turns 81 on the day that we're recording this, May 14th, 2025. Thank the maker.
81?
Yeah, 81 years old.
That's crazy.
God, dang.
He's getting up there. I mean, that's why he sold Star Wars to begin with, man. Like, he was getting up there in age. He knew he wasn't going to be making movies forever. You know, but love some George Lucas.
Makes you think that there's probably going to be a time in our lifetime where we're past the maker with us on this plane.
I know. I mean, none of us are close to 81. So there's a good chance that at least some of us will see a world without George Lucas. That's, man, see, look, I was happy. Happy birthday, George Lucas. Now it's, dang it, George Lucas. Thank you for bringing us down, Dietrich. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Melancholy. Now we're all melancholy. In other news, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link has been canceled. The pretty much sequel mobile game to Kingdom Hearts Key that was supposed to release actually last year, the end of last year, is no more. And I really enjoyed the first mobile game's story and how it tied in with the main Kingdom Hearts universe. And now I'm a little sad that we're not going to be getting any more. I know Wesley's a big Kingdom Hearts freak like I am. Andrew plays the games. How do you guys feel about that?
I didn't know you played
mobile
the
game.
first one.
The first one.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
neither.
actually didn't play the first one. I didn't play the
mobile
first
game,
mobile
yeah.
game. No, it was all over, and I heard that the story was really good. So I literally went back and watched all the story stuff. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I didn't actually play the mobile game, but I watched all the cutscenes. And you can't even play it. You can't download that game anymore. Like, it doesn't exist.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can still
didn't
watch
even
it
know it
all
existed.
on. You can still watch it all on YouTube, though.
I know that they said the reasoning was that they wanted to focus on quality over quantity. I don't know what
Right.
that means because I don't know how many Kingdom Hearts games are actually being released every year.
Well, I mean, back in the day, between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you had Chain of Memories. I think that's about it. Between 2 and 3, though, you had like 358 -2 Days, Birth by Sleep, Coded, Dream Drop
Well,
Distant. Like, there was a ton.
Yeah, Dream
But-
Drop. That's the one I played.
Yeah. So there was a ton of them in there. And I get the quality over quantity thing, but there's not a lot in the pipeline right now that we know of that's been announced. Literally, it's a missing link in Kingdom Hearts 4. That's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not defending them. That's what they said, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. It just sucks. They've been putting all this into this game because the people that we meet in the first mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Key, one of them, Brain, is actually pretty important to Scala Alkylum. That's how you say it, yeah. Which is a big spot for, especially Kingdom Hearts 3, but is a very special place for the story, kind of where the land of fairy tales all come together. And yeah, we were going to get a kind of a flash forward, but still before Kingdom Hearts look, and there was supposed to be some things about Xehanort and all sorts of stuff that comes out. We all know how convoluted Kingdom Hearts can get.
Yeah.
So we were just going to add to the lore. But as long as they come out with Kingdom Hearts 4 rather quickly, I'm A-okay with this.
Fairly quickly.
Yeah, fairly quickly. I mean,
Yeah, what does that mean?
it took 13 years between 2 and 3. We're already, I don't know, 5 years removed from 3.
And I think we have a better chance of seeing George Lucas' 85th birthday before.
Oh, God.
Shit, dude.
Cheers, George.
Yeah.
Hey, but we need a Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts 4. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you know that's gonna be in there, 100%.
I'm counting on it. Dork Wars, the podcast, has a merchandise store.
Merchandising. Merchandising? What's that? Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up the store.
We've got Dork Wars the t-shirt, Dork Wars the hoodie, Dork Wars the coffee mug, and we even have Dork Wars the KX unit. Actually, we don't have a Dork Wars KX unit. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know whether I'd rather have like K2SO or like one of the regular KX units that just beat the crap out of everybody. I don't know, but
They're tough.
we don't have any. But we do have all that other stuff. And we also have the cool hats, the stickers, anything that you think you could buy from a podcast, we probably have on the Dork Wars merchandise store. Check that out at dorkwarspodcast.com. There you can find everywhere that we stream, like YouTube or Spotify that you're watching this on now, Apple Podcasts that you may be listening on right now. But I do want to let you know that the only way to get the video is watching Spotify or YouTube. There are no other podcast platforms that that do the video right now. So the only way you can see our bright, smiling faces, or some of us cry when we're talking about the death of George Lucas, is on YouTube or Spotify. Dork Wars, the podcast, is part of the Subculture Podcast Network.
This show is part of the Subculture Podcast Network. For pop culture and entertainment podcasts, go to bio.link/subculturepodnetwork. Prepare to be entertained.
So tonight we are talking about Andor Season 2, Episodes 7, 8, and 9, aptly named Messenger. Who are you, and welcome to the Rebellion. All very good episodes, but here's your spoiler alert. If you have not seen these 3 episodes of Andor, pause Dork Wars podcast. Go check out those episodes and then come back and listen to what we have to say about them. We are running about a week behind on Andor. Today is the day after the last 3 episodes were released. Not all of us have seen them. Some of us have. And we still have very good questions about these 3 episodes. So check it out. Don't leave us. Just hang with us here for a little bit. So Wesley, I'm going to come to you first. What are your general thoughts on these set of episodes? Whatever we're gonna call this movie of Andor.
Well, first of all, Blake, can I start with last week's episode? I wasn't present on that one,
Well,
and
you know
because
what? You should have been here, man. You should have been here. I had a place for you. I had it all set out, and I was just sad. Then Grant came on, and I was like, "Grant, who's Grant?" And then you weren't here, and I was like, "Where's Wesley?" And
what
no,
is
I'm just kidding.
happening? Yeah.
What's going on? This is not. No, definitely, Wesley. Give us your take on episodes 4, 5, and 6. There we go. 4, 5, and 6. Before we go on.
Yeah. Well, I listened to y'all's last week episode from afar, and are you ready for your performance review, Blake? Good.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So first thing first. One, this is to Grant actually. Wilman is not Bitch's sister or brother.
Brother.
Yeah, they're
Definitely not a
they're not siblings. So
Did you even see them kiss? Did they kiss? No.
They didn't even.
not
And
siblings.
how do you
No.
know what they are?
So I know he said that a few times. So get that right, Grant.
I meant to, because I got confused because I thought I'd missed something, and then I felt bad.
Well,
but,
Blake, number 2.
Oh God,
Yeah, Cyril and Dedra, they are still they were boyfriend and girlfriend still. Because you weren't sure.
I wasn't sure. I didn't say they weren't. I was just saying I don't know. They're definitely not boyfriend and girlfriend now, though.
Not anymore. No more. Yeah, he need to cut her. Okay, and then lastly, I did not drag Dietrich to watch the Bad Batch. Okay, I heard what you said.
But who did then?
I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I talked him into it, but
We'll have to go watch those or listen to those episodes. We can't watch them because we didn't do video then, but we'll have to go back
Yeah.
and listen to those episodes. Still a fun experience if you want to go back and listen to Dork Wars, a podcast, seasons 1 through 3. Good plug there.
yep. General thoughts on those episodes. I'll make it really brief because y'all touched on that last week. I was very pleased with how it ended. A lot of it was Bits was in a dark place and she was struggling in an unhealthy situation, and Andor wanted her to get help and get healthy. And so ultimately, it was very satisfying to see the last scene of them just going into the doctor's office and the doctor getting what he deserved, and the office is blowing up.
Yeah,
and so,
they killed him. You can say it. They killed that man.
yeah.
Who
So
needs therapy? They don't have therapy on Coruscant. Just death.
yeah. So that's my general thought on that. I was fine with it. Pleased with it.
Wesley
as
is
far as-
pleased with it.
I am pleased.
Oh.
But episode 7, 8, and 9, the arc we're talking about tonight, this is a good reminder of why I love the show Andor. Like, this is pure great media, and it really puts, it's a new representation of new presentation of Star Wars. We have not seen Star Wars like this before, and I really like it. So, I'll just start with that. This is probably some of the best Star Wars I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man, I will say this is kind of the first time we've seen kind of the day to day what it looks like to be a part of the Empire and all the stuff going on, even with the government. Like Cyril gives us a really good view of knowing, like not knowing what's going on, but knowing something's up. It's pretty cool. So, Andrew, you also were not on the episode last week, so I would like your general thoughts on the previous 3 episodes, if you have any. You don't have to give them. You just ditto Wesley if that's
Yeah,
You've
I
done it in
mean,
the
you asked me
past.
before the show if I wanted to talk about it, and I straight up said no. But go ahead and ask me about it. I don't fully remember everything, so my general thoughts were I remember enjoying that. I enjoyed them. I thought I enjoyed them. I mean, that's my general thoughts.
I love it.
They were good episodes.
You know what? That's all I needed, dude. That's literally all I wanted to know.
Okay.
So this week, these 3 episodes.
So yeah, for these 3 episodes, I guess some of the last episodes really come into play here, but my general thoughts are This is like the greatest story we've ever seen in Star Wars, in my opinion. And then it's gonna sound crazy, but I think Cyril is the best story that's been told in Star Wars. I don't think Andor the show has been. I think it's that's wrong. I don't know where I'm going with that. Cyril's story to me was one of the best stories out of Star Wars I've ever seen. It is the perfect encompassing story of being a cog in the Empire and
Yeah.
how the Empire manipulates, deceives, and does whatever it needs to do in order to accomplish whatever goal it's trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's just a small part of these 3 episodes, but that's my general thoughts are I completely agree with Wesley. This is probably the best Star Wars we've ever seen. Not just because of Cyril's story, but because of everything. The genocide, that's insane.
Woo! I love genocide.
Yeah.
Dietrich, what are your general thoughts on episodes 7, 8, and 9? I'm not asking you about last week. You were here. If I ever see Grant again, I'll ask him about the rest
I
of
was there with
Andor.
this random stranger guy. And
Yeah.
he
You know what? It's more likely that we see George Lucas's 91st birthday than we see Grant again.
I would
Sorry, Grant. We
say
love you,
my
Grant. We
thoughts
love
would
you.
include another great set of 3 episodes. I mean, I really can't complain. I've got a few very minor gripes, but they're super minor. Kind of like last week, super minor. Really doesn't
Yeah.
take much
Gripes.
away. But if I could be like, hey, could y'all change that a little bit? I would, kind of stuff. But again, another great arc. I love that we've kind of wrapped up Gorman now, and I've already watched the ones that came out this week, so I know how it ends. But
How do y'all do that? Gosh.
Well, first we turn on Disney Plus,
Mhm.
and they've got this little tab. It's called Andor, and you click it, and it,
I always I always hit the Andor recap one on accident.
dude, see, that's where you're messing up, dude. Like, come on, look, call me next time. Just call me before you get on Disney Plus.
Thank you.
I'll walk you through it.
So hold on.
Thank you.
That does bring up a small issue with the Disney app. I hate the Disney app because I have to try to find Andor. Like I actually
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
try to. It's always the Andor recap or the Andor special look, and I'm just
Yeah.
trying to watch the show.
Dude, they've even got a documentary on the ride at Disneyland, Rise of the Resistance. There's like I haven't watched it yet. I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's like 14 minutes long. But that even came up before Andor. What in the world? But my general thoughts this week, episode 7, 8, and 9. I'm with Diedrich, man. It's a great progression of the story. We're starting to ramp up and see kind of where all these stories are going. Obviously we're not there yet for some people. We get there for some others, but you kind of see that the empire's falling apart, not falling apart, but kind of at their wits end with the different cells of the rebellion and the things that are happening. They're getting to that point. You see the rebellion starting to really gain more prominence and getting their name out there, and especially with the Mon Mothma storyline this week, her calling Palpatine out right in the Senate. We're getting to the point where the rebellion's going to be born, as Episode 9's title states. Welcome to the rebellion, boys. It's been really great to see. So I think another great set of episodes. And one thing that I really do enjoy about this show, and I think I've said it in the last 2 episodes, definitely last week. I like how they're releasing these. These 3 episode arcs are perfect. So this was supposed to be a 5-season deal. Originally, Andor was going to be 5 seasons. I think I prefer the way that they did it. I don't think I wanted 5 seasons of Andor. I think I wanted 4 movies of season 2 of Andor. I wish they would have done season 1 this way. Maybe made it even shorter. Maybe made it like, I don't know, 5. I could have
Well-
done last season in like 3 episodes, maybe.
yeah, I was gonna say they
feel like-
they cover a lot more ground in season 2. Season 1 is they do quite a
Yeah.
bit in season 1 too, but
But it's all localized.
Right.
It's all within the same kind of time frame. So there's definitely different pacing between season 1 and season 2. As much as I love season 1, I think if they paced it the way they paced this one, or even just did 1 season of Andor, we're doing 5 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks, or 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks. We
I
could
feel
have
like
gotten it all
this
that
season
way.
everything is very intentional. Like the scene, every single scene is doing multiple things. It's setting something up. It's showing you a characteristic of somebody. Season one had some just I won't even call it
Filler.
filler,
Yeah,
but it made it slower. You know,
yeah.
and that was like the biggest criticism of the earlier episodes is that it just kind of takes you a long time to get invested in anything. And this season
I
has
agree.
nothing like that problem. It moves, but it
Yeah.
moves at a good pace and it keeps you invested.
It throws you in the action. Every time you start a set of these episodes, you are thrown into the next year with a new set of circumstances, while it still is part of the last episodes that we're on. I know Wesley 2 weeks ago, you were saying that you didn't know how you felt about them jumping a year from the first set of episodes to the second set of episodes. Like or you didn't if that would happen, which it did.
And
Um
y'all help clarify because I thought there was some unresolved business with Tay, but y'all clarified no, he got killed. I'm like, oh, yeah,
well,
so
I'm not gonna say it wasn't resolved right then. We didn't know it was gonna happen, but it was kind of like, he's probably gonna die. Like,
yeah. So then
uh,
that opened up. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're good to jump a year now.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I do like the pacing. That is something I know it's not really about the story, but the way they're presenting the story. And I bagged on people for season 1 for being like, "Oh my gosh, you don't like, watching 12 episodes of Andor. I know it's a little slow, but like still good." And it was amazing. But they've done a lot better job with the pacing this season.
I
It's gonna
have a
be a break.
slightly different opinion. I think that what they have done, I mean, I haven't seen the fourth one, so I don't know, but what they have done has been great. But I think something to point out is that they are skipping a lot. There's a lot that they're skipping. Maybe it's not super hyper important, and I'm not saying that we're gonna need more, content of the 4 years that pass or
Yeah.
whatever. Like we don't need to know all of that, but like, I mean, I don't know. I think that there could be some more. I don't know. It's killing me. I wish it was maybe if it was every 2 weeks, I'd be okay. But the fact that it's every week and I have to watch a new movie every week is really killing me as like an adult. It wouldn't have killed me, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
but it's hard to keep up with.
It's a lot of content. And that's something I did mention last week too, is because we even got like a new Star
I
Wars
was gonna
animated
say
show.
that's actually something that I liked. I think I mentioned that in last week's episode. I liked that you don't see every single detail. They do make you infer a few things, but I think what they make you infer is reasonable and rational to kind of consider. Okay, the rebellion's grown. There's a couple hundred people in it now. It's still pretty small. As we see the Yavin Temple progress.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Stuff
but
like that, I appreciate that I don't have it's the opposite of how Marvel has done things where you get spoon-fed every single
Everything.
thing.
And Star Wars has done this in the past now. I mean, they've done this to a point.
so
This is
why
kind of
don't
a
they
turn on that.
so why don't they just do a movie scroll like they've always done? Each trilogy, each 3 episodes starts with a movie scroll that's just like, this is now the year blah, and this event has happened to tie you to this period of time. Because I think my biggest gripe with the entire series is I
I like
don't
that
know
idea.
when things are going on until like a quarter or a third of the way into the episode, and even then, like Dietrich's
Yeah.
saying, there's a lot to infer.
I'm
So I
I'm
don't
not
think a lot of
so
people realize I think it's 5 years that happens from the first episodes to the last,
think it's
or six.
like
I don't
4.
know.
It's 4. 'Cause it's
4?
1 year
Okay.
per. There's 4
I
4
think it's
blocks
more
of
than
shows.
1 year per. I think this because even in
Well, they
this,
literally say a year later on each one. Episode 1, episode 4, episode 7, and episode 10 all say 1 year later. Like it's introducing you. This is 1 year, then you get 3 episodes. 1 year, 3 episodes.
Yeah, see, that's like a practice for something if you're gonna watch them all at once, and we're not
Well,
watching them all at once. So
but I think it's more
there should
like
be
the
a
original
scroll.
Star Wars. I think it's like the
Then why
original, and
isn't
they
there a
did have scroll.
scroll?
I don't think you need the scroll because I
No,
think
but it's Star Wars. I mean, what
I
the
want the
fuck?
scroll in every single thing.
let's talk about Cyril and Dedra. I think this is probably the some of the biggest character arcs in these 3 episodes. I would say they're the most important in these 3 episodes. I think we see more Dedra and Civil or Cyril. God, I keep calling him Civil. Cyril. I think we see more of them than anyone else in these 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, well, I
Andor
guess
and
we can go
Biggs.
ahead and spoil away, but one of those two people, they're finished after this arc, so
Oh
I
yeah,
guess they're
Cyril's
really
dead.
leaning
He
into
died.
that.
We
Yeah.
we put the spoiler warning at the beginning, man. Yeah, he's dead.
Now,
He's dead.
He's
and
he was
it
also
shows us,
betrayed the entire
yeah,
time
it
by
shows
his
us the absolute
wife.
opposite. Like their whole thing has been flipped now, and for a long time, I was really thinking, okay, Cyril's gonna go rebel. He's gonna go full rebellion, and he's gonna kind of have an Agent Callus kind of vibe,
Yeah.
where he's been working for the Empire for a long time, but eventually sees the ills. But that didn't happen.
No, it did. And I'm
Sometimes,
telling you, man,
sometimes you just get shot in the head.
it was going that way too. And I was like, I mean, I wouldn't have hated it, but yeah, we've seen it with Agent Callus. We see it in the sequels with General Hux. Same, literally the same arc.
Those really are not compatible. So Hux, the only reason Hux was against Kylo Ren was because he hated Kylo Ren, not that he was seeing
Hey,
the
still
ills of the
flipped.
First Order.
Still flipped. They both flipped. Same end
Could you not
result.
use Finn? If you got to have an example from the sequels, use Finn.
Yeah, Finn was poorly done in the sequels. Poor Finn. I wish a
Hux
lot
was
more.
not done much better either.
No, he wasn't. But he flipped. He was a bad guy who flipped. I think
He was-
Finn,
But that's
I think
not
Finn
what
just got
hold on.
scared. Finn just
That's
got
not what
scared.
happened with Cyril. Cyril's not a bad guy who flipped.
That's what we're saying.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's not. No, so the Finn would be a bad. No, okay, no, I get it. I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right.
Well, no.
You-
We're talking about people. I thought it was going that way. I thought he was going to flip to the rebels, and he did not.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
But
no, he
Callus and
never-
Hux both flipped to the other side.
But it makes you think: what would have happened if he didn't see Cassian there? Like, was
Yeah, he
what was
probably
going through
would
his
have joined
mind?
the rebellion. 100%.
I don't know, man.
Yes.
He leaves
I
the
feel-
Absolutely.
I think I don't know. He may have.
The
but he's
only reason that he didn't is because he saw Cassian. As soon as he saw Cassian, everything kind of came together and he realized that it didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. And the only thing that does matter is that this is what started it all. So he's going to kill him so that he can
Yeah.
finally have something to show. So yes, I think
that's-
if he didn't see Cassian, he probably would have, if not joined the rebellion, then he would have left the Empire because he did not agree with what was happening.
Oh yeah, I think he was leaving the Empire totally. I think he was just trying to get out of there and go start. I don't know if he was just going to go. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look, he's wandering aimlessly in a war zone. He's apparently got like Dragon Ball Z Ultra Instinct. No, there's fire all around and nothing's hitting him. He's just like everyone's shooting. He's just like
The Force was with him for that 30 seconds he was walking
No
through the
joke.
plaza.
But
That's
he's just
kind of
like
a gripe I have with that whole episode is
That was one of my minor gripes as
Yeah.
well.
they're saying hundreds of people died, and then there's just no good way for them to have. That wasn't. There were like 50.
Oh,
people
sorry,
there.
different gripe. Oh no. I had that same gripe. It was a really small small gathering, right? It was only
Yes.
maybe not it couldn't have been more than 100 people, and that's like max.
Yes.
I think
And it's like
maybe
a
two.
massacre, I would think would be a much larger grouping
agree.
of people to be considered massacred.
I
But
don't know. The Boston
did-
Massacre
they
was
did
only
go into
30
the city.
people.
right, but there was only like 100 people in the world back then,
They say hundreds later on.
Nah. That is we'll call that a small gripe. Gripe number 1, baby. We got a gripe on the board. But
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
but I do think it's funny that Sarah he's just walking through not getting shot, just thinking about everything, and I mean that's just one of those movie things or entertainment things where the
The plot
character
armor.
sees, yeah, he's taking in everything that's going around him, and it's time for him to make a decision. Most of the time, that character makes it out to make that decision whether he's going to join the rebellion or go off and try to live by himself away from the Empire, but not even joining the rebellion. Cyril does not get that. He gets this time of contemplation, sees Andor, recognizes him as the one and only thing that started his entire trip down with Dedra. It's gone bad. Like he loved her, now he hates her, and now
Choking and
he's
trying to choke her out.
like, okay, it's the
I would say
Empire.
it's
It's
okay
the
to choke a
Empire, dude.
Nazi. It's okay to choke a
So?
Nazi. It's okay. It's
But you
okay
don't
to
think
choke a
Darth
Nazi.
Vader would like that? Star Wars theory? You don't think?
To me, it didn't
Oh,
seem like it fit his character. Like that.
It
That
didn't.
No, it seems
response.
like
was-
he grew a pair. That's what it seemed like.
No.
But
I think he would have done that to anyone in the room with him.
I don't know, man.
you think he would have choked anybody?
Tried to.
No, I think he choked
Absolutely
Mira
not.
because she'd been manipulating him for
Yes.
however long it
He
was.
finally realized that she didn't love him in the same way that he loved her.
Yeah,
They had
he
two completely
did,
different
though.
views on
I think
love.
she did, but I don't think he realized that.
No, different. It's like
I'll have
it's
to
like you
revisit
love
this next
someone
week.
and then you find out that they're totally okay with the deaths of thousands of people or an entire planet just so that they can go home. That's what he finds out. And I don't know if I found out that that's what was happening with Katie, I'd be fucking devastated.
Dude, I just thought you were
So-
saying that is what's been happening with Katie. I'm like, oh.
Oh no. Well, I don't know. She might be
Katie
part of the
likes
Empire.
planetary genocide.
Yeah, I don't know. She might be. I don't know. Who knows what she does?
She
But for
thinks
real,
Two
like-
Towers is the best Lord of the Rings movie.
And
Yeah, I don't think-
there was a lot happening really quickly there, and so we see this new side of Cyril unfold. And what's ironic is
Cyril.
the underground gore rebellion leader. I don't know his name. He's like the politician guy. The whole time he's like, yeah, no violence, no violence. You know, don't start an uprising. But then he's the one that ends up capping Cyril with a gun. So
Yeah, but it won't
Yeah,
his
some
fault.
irony
Yeah,
right there.
true.
that's irony.
It
yeah.
is irony, but before I get into like what caused the riot, because we all know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I want to just stay kind of on the Cyril, like him and Andor. Cyril, not only he bowed up at old Deidre and all that, but then he gets to Andor, and that was a good fight, dude. That scrum they had,
Yeah.
he was ruthless.
Yeah, but
He just wanted to murder Andor.
Andor's
and-
handled so many situations prior to that, and then all of a sudden he's struggling against this Sith officer dude. Empire officer.
Empire
Why did I
officer,
say
yeah.
Sith? I'm sorry. Empire
Anyway.
officer guy, like who
He's a
just sits
bad
at a
guy.
desk and gets berated by his mother all the time.
And
I
girlfriend.
think Cassian gets surprised. I mean, for one, I love the line of Cassian being like, "Who are you?" When he's like, "It's you," and then he starts
Yeah.
to charge at him, and Cassian's like, "Who are you?" He's like, this whole time you realize Cassian doesn't even know
No
who
idea.
Cyril is.
Cyril, like, and then he's been living in Cyril's head rent free for like years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And Cyril,
And it-
Cyril has 1 second of his life to process, maybe 5 seconds to process that he's been hunting Andor. Like Andor is in his head, Cassian Andor's in his head for all these years, and he means nothing to Cassian, not a thing. And it's like, God, what have I been doing with my life? And then boom, he's dead. The end.
Yeah, I take that as like him just having years of rage, and he's not really good in a fight, but he's just going off of pure like adrenaline and hate, and
Yeah.
And he, and he
Cassian.
ended up
We all
being
know
pretty
Cassian's
good.
going to come out on top.
He ended
but-
up
That's why-
being pretty good in the fight, though.
That's
mean,
why
I
I
give
love
it
this whole thing.
Cyril.
And it's just like I don't know. I've been on a Band of Brothers kick, and I've been on like all these war movies kicks, and it's just so crazy how you can just I don't know wake up and have this crazy important story and future, and then the next thing you know, you literally don't know it. You're just dead. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what happened here with Cyril. This whole story, 2 seasons of story led up to just He's just dead now.
Yeah.
He was one of the main characters, and now he's just a quick some random guy. Well, not random guy, but
And
Look,
that
Andrew.
and that used to be one of the things that made Star Wars great until they started bringing everybody back from the dead.
Yeah.
Andrew, I don't want to spoil Rogue One for you. There's a lot of very important characters that we meet, the whole main cast, and they just die.
Oh
Poor
yeah,
guy.
I know.
Oh man, and still one
But
of my
it's not the
favorite Star Wars
same.
movies.
It's not the
It's
same. I
not.
mean, Cyril's was so much deeper. I mean, you just got so much, and they did well with, like Dietrich said, and like you've said, not over explaining.
And who the heck is Uncle Harlow? God, I still. Who is that? I need to see Uncle Harlow.
Uncle Harlow is the friends we made along the way.
100%. Like, I thought we were leading up to seeing Uncle Harlow, and I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see him or not.
I feel like if we ever did meet Uncle Harlow, he needs to look like basically be Hondo Anaka, but a human.
I
Like,
was
'cause you
thinking
know
Cad
how-
Bane or a human, but okay.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Some kind of very sketchy looking.
Yeah. He's wearing a
But
cowboy
like,
hat.
sure, we'll go with that.
Harlow, man, it's very old Western like Red Harlow from Red Dead Redemption.
They call me Uncle Harlow, and I'm the fastest gun in the West. I don't know. I don't know.
But the whole reason this riot even gets started, the Empire takes off the friendly fire and just caps her on, dude. They wanted this to happen. Even in the last 3 episodes, they were talking about having an insurrection on Gorman. They have catered Gorman into this. Like, they have kind of pushed him to this by design. They wanted this to happen the entire time.
Yeah, when the order was given for the Empire militia to go out there, all the soldiers were just like, "Wait, what? We're going out there? Are you crazy?" And so,
Oh, and notice it was the young guys too. It was the young recruits they brought in, and they were like, "Well, go back out there." And
the trigger happy
yeah.
kids. They were
Well, they were basically used as cannon fodder.
they were,
Oh.
but they were. I think they were banking on one of them taking a shot first from the front
Yeah.
line. But
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think so, but that never happened, and you had to have a sharpshooter who was on the side of Gorman, on kind of their side of the line, shoot from their side of the line, and to get things started, man. Just I don't know that we have to reiterate this, but the Empire is just ruthless.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
this show has
orchestrating
really
all
shown
this.
how gritty it gets.
I think the show does a great job of showing how. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to put this into words well because I'm a big dummy, but like the
no,
power of propaganda, the power of just like being able to say something or reword things or change an argument so that it's not
I think that's
what
one of
it's
the
about.
most like insightful things about what Mon Mothma's speech was when she was like the gap between what is said and what is known to be true is like too wide
Yes.
to
Yeah.
refuse anymore.
Yes.
And that felt a little too close to home.
Well, and something that kind of like I realized during that speech is, especially in that sort of a situation where planets are separated by who knows how long it takes to travel from one planet to another. Do they ever say how long it takes to travel?
Depends on the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
And how
anyway,
quick they need
who
to
knows
get
how
there.
long it takes to travel from one planet to another? But let's assume it's
Depends.
a little while. How could you control people from one to another? How could you? I mean, you could literally just tell them anything, and they can't prove otherwise because it's from planets away. At least for a week,
Yeah.
they can't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it would be so hard to rule planet.
And the Empire controls the version of the internet that Star Wars has, the HoloNet.
Oh, the
Yeah.
HoloNet. They
That's
showed
what it
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finally did. And also in the broadcasters when Cyril's coming down that plaza, still on that first scene, they're talking about the naval bombing that happened on Gorman, the Imperial naval bombing, and then we find out that was an inside job. It wasn't even the Gorman resistance. It was The Empire, they did that on purpose to set tensions higher on Gorman. The whole point was to get Gorman to rebel so they could make an example out of them. And then to get the Calkite that they needed to make lenses for the Death Star. That too, they wanted those minerals. But this was a way to justify them doing that. I really do like the Gorman the Gorman protest song. That was inspiring. I loved how they were singing it all together and just in chor it was beautiful.
I felt like as soon as they started singing, I was like, "Oh, they're all dead. Oh, that's what they're gonna."
They're all gonna
Yeah, like I
die.
was.
And interestingly enough, that's what opens episode 9, the title screen with Andor, the gore chorus, if you will, is what opens
Gorecore.
the gore core. The gore core, baby. Heck yeah. They should put that on t-shirts, but they probably can't. They're all dead. Um it's fitting that the episode called Welcome to the Rebellion, where Mon Mothma confronts Palpatine, opens up with the Gore Corps singing their protest song.
We are Gore. The galaxy is watching.
Yeah. I like the chant too. Yeah, the chant's really cool too.
Except the galaxy wasn't watching because the Empire controlled the HoloNet and they weren't letting anything out of Gorman. So
The galaxy was watching, kind of.
Gosh darn Empire.
I have to tell Uncle Harlow about that. He'll deal with them.
It's called Hollow Entertainment, not Hollow News. Can I random gripe?
Yeah,
I
throw a
want a random
one in here.
gripe, dude. In your opening, in your general thoughts, you made a statement that I have a gripe with.
Cool.
You said at this point it's showing evidence that the Empire is coming apart. Now, I absolutely disagree with that statement, and I feel like this is the Empire coming together, actually working, doing exactly what they intended from the very beginning. And
Oh,
that this is a prime example of the Empire being a pretty much a perfect machine. Maybe with cracks.
but I
Yeah,
think
it's cracking.
remember that line in A New Hope where Leia's like, the tighter you hold your hand, she's talking to Tarkin, right? The more systems will slip out of your fingers.
So she
and I think
she
this is
puts on
bit
a
of an
fake.
illusion.
She's got the fake British accent that she only has that one scene.
Hello.
The tighter your grip on the systems, the more they will fall through your fingers. Or the tighter your grip on the galaxy, the more systems will fall through your fingers. Or whatever it is. I'll put it up behind us or something. But yeah, I think that they're grasping so hard because they can feel the system starting to pull away. There's more rebel cells. Yavin is growing. They don't know that, but they can. They know that rebels are kind of gearing up. They have the
And
intel.
remember, they're arresting more people than they can process. That was one of the problems in like one of the earlier ones. I can't remember which one it was.
That was the
exactly,
last
but-
time. There's these last 3 right before this.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's one of those things that the infer isn't strong enough because all they really show are like 12 rebels in this entire episode. So I'm supposed to believe there are hundreds of them now, but how when there's
Yeah,
Well,
that's
because
back to
they're-
that problem of the crowd was only like 50 people.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
those
and-
aren't. They're not.
That's what I'm saying.
rebels,
Where did you
though.
get how do we know there are hundreds of them? How do we know it's not still the same like 40 or 50 people?
Because
the
we do
same
see
network
people
of
on
survivors?
Yavin. There are people on Yavin now.
No, we're talking about.
yeah,
I think we're talking about Gorman, right?
Well,
The
yeah,
crowd of
but he's
Gorman.
talking about having hundreds
overall
of people
across
in the
galaxy,
rebellion.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think when episode 7 starts, like it starts right at Yavin and has Wilmon and Andor and everyone's there at Yavin. You can see a lot of military activity and organized rebels in place, and so
That's just the people
we
there.
can infer from
That's just
that
people
they
that
are
live
growing.
there. See, I just assumed
No,
that
they
that was
don't live there.
people
No
that
one
live
lives
there.
on Yavin. They're a military. That's a military base. They're all there.
Yeah,
to fight the Empire.
nobody would be there just hanging. Everybody would have a role or something.
Or they'd
there.
kick you out or confine you to your quarters. Like it's a military base. So we really don't get much Mon Mothma until episode 9. Where
Whoa, whoa!
do we
Hard
not?
disagree. The very first what is it? The whole arc, or maybe even into the second arc, is the wedding on Chandrilla.
I'm
I think
talking about
we
this
get.
this series of
He's talking about this
episodes.
arc. Yeah.
Oh,
This
my bad. Yeah,
arc
you're right.
7, 8, and 9. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
There's yeah, we get a bunch of Mon Mothma in the first set.
Gotta say, we get Mon Mothma dancing to.
Yes, we do. We even go check out our TikTok. We had a TikTok about it. It's beautiful. And YouTube Shorts or whatever you're into. Whatever your persuasion is on the short video market.
She was dealing with a lot of espionage, like listening devices being planted everywhere and trying to figure out where.
That's her whole thing.
That's
That's the whole thing with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her, Bail Organa, Bail Organa's got some in his office. They probably got them in most senators' offices at this point. But definitely the ones that they're looking at. They know Mon Mothma. They know Bail Organa. They're sympathetic. It brings me back to like those deleted scenes in Revenge of the Sith. The senators that pretty much start the rebellion all have like a meeting about taking the emergency powers away from Palpatine.
The delegation of 2000.
That's it. Was it 2 or 1? It might have been 2000. I can't remember. But yeah, something like that. It was, but you see Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, Padme Amidala, of course, who's no longer with us at this point. She would definitely not like the Empire. She actually died on that hill. But we know that the Empire is definitely bugging all these people. Mon Mothma is not the only target, but now she's gonna be a pretty big one, especially after the speech. I mean, we get her. She's thinking about making the speech. She meets with Bale. Bale reassures her. He's like, I'm gonna give you the time that I was gonna take for this, and give you the time to make your speech. We see her gearing up to make the speech.
I have a
And
question
yeah,
about Bail and Mon Mothma. Why did Luthen tell Mon Mothma not to trust Bail Organa?
well,
Like
she didn't say
that
not to trust Bale. She said not to trust the
he
people
yeah.
he had to take her to Yavin.
Okay, so not to trust Bail, but not to trust the escorts because they were
Correct.
corrupt. But okay,
The one lady was. She was Imperial.
right, yeah, okay.
So I guess he had intel on that, or he was just like, who knows who Bale got? And Bale even admits in these episodes that he doesn't know the people who are personally who are going to escort her to Yavin. He doesn't know them. So Luthen gets someone he does know, Andor, to do it.
Yeah.
Bale has a history of skirting protocol. He does that in Rogue One. He does it all the time. Just
Well, yeah,
the
because
people
it's
he
Imperial
loves.
protocol, and
Well,
he is a rebel.
that's not what I mean, but I'm talking about like for I'm talking about like when he's probably not doing the correct protocol in order to research who he's working with. Like you said, he doesn't know who these people are. Even he admits it because he's not doing the correct legwork that Luthen does or that Mon Mothma does to make sure that everything is to a T. Because when you're a spy, you have to, and Bail Organa is not
Right.
like that. He's loosey goosey.
I don't know who Bale's like pipeline is. That's the one thing I don't like. He's in with the rebellion, but like, who are his people?
Yeah.
Ahsoka's got to be one.
Ahsoka's one. Dude, imagine Ahsoka. Like, I tell you what, Andor, why don't you stay off? Get Ahsoka. Let's rent Ahsoka for 2 hours. I don't know how much she costs for 2 hours. Bring her in for 2 hours to get Mon Mothma off of Coruscant. I would think that's a pretty big deal, and I think that Ahsoka could make that happen pretty easily. But is she still dead or dead? Not supposed to be around.
No, because that was season. Actually, I don't know.
Because
I can't quite
she
remember.
comes back
I
like
feel
she
like
shows back up like We don't know she
Yeah, it's
survives.
hard to remember. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if that jet that
that
that Grand
timeline.
Jedi episode
Yeah,
was before Mon Mothma comes back and they pick her up, or if that was after. I can't remember.
yeah. It's
It
it's
could go either way.
it's squirrely, but I don't. Other than Ahsoka, I don't know who Bale's people are, where he gets them, how he vets them, who are his confidants. I mean, we know that Mon Mothma has Luthen for one, uh, and that's about it. I mean, her only really her ties to the rebellion are Bail Organa, who has his people, and Luthen, who has his whole little spy network. So Mon Mothma obviously doesn't have her own people, or they would take her off of Coruscant. So, but yeah, they weren't to be trusted because Luthen didn't know where he got those guys, or he had intel that one of them was Imperial, and obviously whatever that was correct because one of them were definitely
And it
Imperial.
might have been one of those situations. Remember when I think he's talking to Saul, and he basically admits to having to burn like 30 rebel troops to save his ISB friend
Yeah,
because he needs that ISB plant.
right.
So it might have been one of those situations where he's like, I can't let them know that we know, or they'll know that we know, and
Yeah,
it's like a whole. There's like 9 levels to the Spy Espionage Act
right.
Yeah.
that
Spy
sometimes
versus
is a
spy.
little. Sometimes it's a little much for me, especially when it's like 10 p.m. and I'm still trying to stay awake watching these.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah, but Mon Mothma does make her speech, which is oh, that's it for her. You can't remain in the Empire and say something like that about Palpatine.
I feel like that speech is going to get her family killed. Honestly.
Maybe. That's yet to be seen. I don't know where this takes her family in general. I know where it takes her. We all know that, but
So I was expecting a little bit more. It was a good speech, but I was expecting this to be that Lonnie monologue from season 1, like
yeah.
something just so grandiose that you're just like, wow, this is Star Wars and not an actual like an adult movie that has writers catering to an adult audience.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
She
that
she just
speech would. Sorry, Blake.
no, you go ahead.
I think that speech would have been more powerful if Palpatine was right there in the Senate room. I think that's one of my loose gripes about this is that she made a speech directed at Palpatine, but he's not even present for it. So it's like, okay,
Yeah, I don't think Palpatine comes to the Senate very often. Doesn't seem I do like that
he
he's
does
not
in Bad
involved.
Batch.
He does in Bad
He
Batch.
does in Bad
I said
Batch.
often. I didn't say ever. And that's still with the Empire's new. Bad Batch is
I was gonna say
pretty
that was when
new.
it was brand new, and he still had to show up to some office hours.
Yeah. Now, bro's been doing it for 19 or 18 years at this point. Uh he can call in. He's got people on the floor to he's got the entire Senate wrapped other than the few senators. In 2 years the Galactic Senate won't even exist. As stated
dissolve.
in A New Hope. So that's something we know. Like the Galactic Senate's on its way out, anyways. I think it's cool that they don't have Empire. I think it's cool that they don't have Emperor Palpatine in this show so far. I like that he's just this overarching. You know he's there, but you can't see
He's a
him.
presence.
He's a presence, and it sits on everything that everybody does. And I think not showing him just makes him that more menacing. I mean, we know he's menacing, but I think it's a wise choice. So Andor, Cassian Andor. I would say I still have a little bit of a gripe of calling this whole show Andor. That's just me. We can talk about that later if you guys want, but I still think that I think every other character is just as important, and in some instances more important than Andor. That I would like this to be called something else. But love the show. I love Andor's art as well. Cassian does a great job. He goes back to Gorman, kind of sets off some of the he's there during the Gorman massacre. The little guy in the hotel remembers who he is from the last couple episodes the year before. and knows
Rebellions are built on hope.
rebellions are built on hope. That's where he gets his iconic line. It's awesome. Tells that Jyn Erso in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got his room. It's overlooking the plaza. He can see into the ISB building, and this is where it all goes off. His code name is Ronnie Guja. Have you guys ever heard, like, you're in Star Wars? It's like, this is Wedge Antilles. This is Balin Skull, and this is Ronnie. This is my friend Ronnie.
Ronnie.
What's up, Ronnie? I know a Ronnie. He's a mechanic. I don't know. It's just weird to think there's a Ronnie in Star Wars. But old Ronnie Guja, he's a journalist, goes undercover, and there for the whole Gorman massacre. We've already kind of been over that and kind of his role with Civil or Cyril. God, I did it again. Cyril. This episode is going to be named Blake can't pronounce Cyril's name. But yeah, we've already kind of been over that a little bit. He doesn't even know who the heck Cyril is. And I think that plays into the arc that Andor is. He is a rebel spy. He has killed a lot of people. He's had a lot of adversaries. In between the years that we see in here, I'm sure he's gone on other crazy missions for the rebellion. Earlier, Luthen, before he kind of took a break from the Luthen missions, and subsequently gets back into a Luthen mission this arc of episodes. He's been through it. And you can see he's telling Bix that after this, he's out. He wants to quit when he's done with the next Luthen mission, which is getting Mon Mothma off of Coruscant. He's done. He's no longer going to be a part. And I think that's powerful, man. Like, you see, we know where Andor goes. We know his destiny. And to see that he almost gave up based on what he's seen, what he's been through, man, it humanizes Andor and makes me respect him even more.
Yeah, definitely humanizes him a bit, and it shows how, it kind of shows the weight of what's going on and how difficult these decisions are. I do like what's that girl that's associated with Luthen?
Clea.
Clea, yes, and I do like her response, like, "Oh, are you tired? Is this too difficult for you? Do you
Yeah.
do you think that I'm not capable to understand what you're going through?" I feel like she's kind of a good coach there, or you can kind of feel the tension between her and Andor, trying to sort that out. But
I'm a big Clea fan, by the way. Love Clea.
yeah, me too.
But she definitely sticks it to him. And even after that speech, he's still, I don't care. I'm out after this. We go through his escapades on Coruscant. He goes and retrieves Mon Mothma, and
Bro.
that was cool. And he meets up with Erskine Samaj, which is Mon Mothma's aide, right? The Luthen's
Oh, yeah,
guy
yeah.
that he interjects into Mon Mothma's camp, that she's so worried. Like, she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you put somebody like you've put a spy on me."
Yeah,
Basically,
she fired him.
well, not for long though, because
Not for long.
not for long, because he's in Rebels with her. Like,
Yeah.
near the end, like he's her aide later down the line.
Yeah.
So they stick together for the long haul. I thought that was a pretty good callback. It was pretty neat that Luthen used him as pretty much a spy to kind of help Mon Mothma. I don't know if he was spying on Mon. He probably was. But he was keeping her safe. But he's the same aide that she has in Rebels when she actually gets to Yavin. And I don't know, man. Luthen must be trustworthy. If Erskine remains her aide after this, she must trust Luthen. I know we're talking about Andor right now, but I don't know, man. Something about old Luthen. But anyways, Andor gets up with Erskine. They get together on getting Mon Mothma out of there. And dude, this is one of my favorite scenes in these group of episodes where
That's
he's
pretty
just
good.
capping people in Coruscant. I loved it.
And he's got to reassure Mon Mothma, just be like, okay, it's fine, everything's okay, everything's fine, everything's fine.
Bow. Hey, this
Hey,
guy was my
okay.
driver. Cool. Bow. All right.
What's his name? Bam, not anymore. Just
His name is D-E-D, dead, capital D, baby. He's done. Ruthless, man. This is the Andor that we see at the beginning of Rogue One. The one that's not scared to kill. He's ready to get the job done. Maybe he thought this was his retirement job. Like, this is his last day on the job. He was retiring. So he's like, let's just get a bounty count. Who cares? But he definitely, anyone questions them, gets in their way. He gets it done and gets Mon Mothma out of there.
That was such a cool mission, man. And because this is the first time, I think this is the first time that Andor and Mon Mothma have met. And so, for all these seasons, they've had two separate arcs, so to speak, two separate stories. Now that
From
it's
the beginning.
converged, we've witnessed it converged, and so that was pretty cool for me to watch that. I will say I did not like Mon Mothma in this sequence a little bit because she just seems shocked by everything. Oh, you shot him. Oh, what's happening? Oh, why'd you kill my driver who I know is an ISB plant? It's like, come on, girl.
I don't
get
think
with the program.
I don't know that she knew that was an ISB plant completely.
She hasn't
did.
had
She did.
front
She-
row. Sorry, she hasn't
had a
a front row
conversation.
seat to death the entire time at all. This is
That's
her
right.
first front row seat to death.
No, I'm going to agree with you, Andrew. Like, this is the first time Mon Mothma's like been in the heat of battle
Yeah.
that we know of. I can't think of a time before this that she's ever been on the front line with shots being fired. She's grown up in the Senate since she was a child. She says that. She's never seen anything like this.
That's why I like
don't even
Andor's
know-
response to her, like, "Welcome to the rebellion."
Yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, welcome, Mon Mothma. This episode's for you.
Do they even make it clear that she understands that she's also affecting her family by doing this? Is that just
They're not mentioned right now.
I mean, she struggled with that in the first set of episodes for sure,
okay? I mean, I don't remember. I'm just asking.
and even in the first season a lot. Her family's a bigger part of the first season, I think, and kind of her thoughts on what will happen to them as this goes on, and how does she be a part of the rebellion and a part of this family? And I feel like once we get out of that first set of episodes after the wedding, like that kind of takes a back seat. Maybe that's something that was going to be fleshed out more in the 5-season version of Andor.
Well, it
not
might
the
have been a
2.
thing where she's like, I got to be a good mother for my daughter. Oh, my daughter's married. I can do whatever I need to do now.
Even though I pimped her out for the rebellion.
She's married to the crime lord's son, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So he's not a part of the rebellion.
What's his name? God, there's too many characters in this show that are.
There
not
are.
important.
That was a gripe we talked about
That's-
last
yeah.
week. We're just like, there's
There's
so
it's,
many people.
It starts with a D. No, Dugan, Sadugan, something like that. I don't know. It's not Draven.
Hadoken?
Do what?
Hadoken?
Hadoken. No, it's not Ryu from Street Fighter. But yeah, I feel like her family has kind of taken a backseat at this point to the rebellion. Like she's decided that it's about the rebellion. She's chosen to forsake her family, basically. But then Andor does get back to Yavin after he gets Mon Mothma there, or after he rescues her from Coruscant. And Bix left him a Dear John letter, or Dear Cassian letter, if you will. She's gone. I did not see this coming. I
Wait,
did
doesn't
not
that
see this
mean-
coming.
Isn't a Dear John letter for someone who's dead?
No, Dear John letter is like you wake up and your significant other just left, and they left you a note saying, "I'm gone."
Oh,
John Doe is what they call random bodies they find.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been.
John and Jane Doe.
Well, Jane left John in this instance. Bix has left the building. She's like, Andor, Cassian, I love you, but you can't quit the rebellion because of me. You're an important part. Um, the Jedi healer. I know we hadn't really talked about the Jedi healer.
Yeah, so
That's pretty important, I think.
yeah, so that is actually really important. I was trying not to bring this up because I don't want to argue with you about anything, but the problem
You're on the
with
same team right now, so
Yeah, we're on a podcast. That's the whole point. We're supposed to discuss.
no. I
things.
mean, because y'all just agree with each other. So
we
let's
just
keep
ding
agreeing.
ding. Let's ding ding
Yeah.
again. Let's ding it.
you made a statement early on about how you don't know why it's named Andor. You don't think he's the main character. You don't think he's that well. You didn't say that he's not that important. That's not true.
No, he's
But you-
important.
but you don't think that it should be named after him. But this scene clearly states why this show is named after him. He's the messenger. He is the connector between everybody. Even though I guess technically Luthen is, he is the driving force, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Well, he's the messenger. He's the harbinger of A New Hope. He is the one that will put into motion the retrieval of the Death Star plans, which eventually blows the Death Star up, which eventually becomes the end of the Empire down the line. Yes, he is the harbinger of that.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew here. Because the Force healer, I think she defined who Andor is, what his role is with the Force, and like I think she introduced like this new category of Force of someone like being a gatherer, right?
Like the
And
monk,
this person, what's that?
like the monk who's like can.
Well, I mean, she
Similar.
just sees. I mean, we've known that Force users can see the future. She says she feels the future. Like, I don't. Maybe
Like
maybe
Phil of the future.
feel the future. I liked that show when I was a kid. Maybe she was a janitor at the temple before the fall or something. I don't know. But she can heal with the Force, and she
Wait,
can.
what? Why would she just be a janitor? Where is that coming from?
I don't know. I mean, she can heal people and sense where they're going. She ain't got a lightsaber. She ain't a Jedi.
I think all she
Yeah,
was. I
Obi-Wan
think you're.
also hid his stuff too.
Hold on, I think
Do
you're
what?
inferring way too much here. I think
If
that
she's a Jedi, why ain't she out there with a lightsaber? Got a light
because
sword
I think that
facing
it's
down the
pretty-
entire Empire like Palpatine.
She probably wasn't trained or something. She probably learned this power. None of that matters. I think all she was doing was just putting into words how a Jedi experiences the Force. I don't think that literally all Jedi can literally view of it's as if they're watching a third person POV of an event that happens. I think they
Yeah,
can
that's
just
that's why they become janitors. The ones that can do
Some
that
Jedi
on the
have
council.
special powers.
Yes,
Like
to
do
Ezra can
that.
talk to animals.
Cal
Mace
Kestis
Windu
has
sees the future.
yes. Cal Kestis has psychometry where he can touch a artifact and know where it's been its entire history. Feel moments that happened in a place, things like that. No, I don't know. I was making a joke. I'm sorry. I thought this was a fun podcast, but
Real quick though, what is it that like yet again another character who can force heal that would have solved Anakin's problems and stopped this whole situation?
they were.
Somebody
She was
else-
mopping floors. They didn't know she could do that.
Well, Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think, if anything, if this person is in fact a Jedi, I feel like they would have been probably a master to where they could do that technique.
I don't know. I think Star Wars has kind of
Got real
watered.
loosey goosey.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've watered the Force down as a whole.
Maybe she's a witch.
Maybe.
Burn her at the stake.
I mean, you can't count that out. They don't say where she's from. She uses the Force. She heals and she can feel the future. That's just the Force. Doesn't mean she's a Jedi.
Yeah, she might not be a Jedi at all.
Heck, dude, she might be sleeping with Palpatine. No, I'm just kidding.
She might be the acolyte. Oh wait, no, this is way too complicated.
Wait a minute. No,
She was the acolyte the whole time.
she's the acolytes we made along the way. But she does. She places Andor and says, "Look, there's a place you need to be. I don't know where that place is. It might be right here, but there's a place you need to be, and you're going to get there." And she basically kind of throws his destiny on him there a little bit, and he doesn't like that. He's more of a Han Solo kind of character where he doesn't want the all-knowing Force to drive his destiny.
He doesn't believe in the Force. He thinks it's fake.
Well, he says that.
That's fair.
He says that. I don't know if he believes that totally. I don't know why he
Agreed.
wouldn't believe that.
I mean, agreed. I definily think he's just
think he
trying
just-
to convince himself.
I think it just
Yeah.
scares him.
Yeah,
I think he's had these feelings himself, you know?
Yeah.
Because even Bix is like, I've had these dreams. I mean, is Bix force sensitive? I don't know, maybe. But she's even talking about like I've had these dreams where you there's a place you need to be. I feel like there's a place you need to be. We're all going towards this.
Andor is
moment.
probably force sensitive, but he was living outside of the Republic when he was a child, so he was never tested.
Oh, that could explain all the cool stuff he does, like the flying low. You know, you saw that callback.
He definitely has some reflexes.
Can he mop floors like a Jedi janitor? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think this kind of comes back to our discussion of like, can anyone tap into the force? You know, things like that. But maybe he is. I don't know.
Nah.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's a part of him that's felt this for himself. And is that because he's force sensitive or because they wrote Rogue One before they wrote Andor? I don't know. You know,
It's a spectrum.
they need to make it dramatic. Yeah, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum. But yeah, the force healer is definitely I would like more about her a little bit. We need a comic book or a novel or something. We don't need a whole TV show, guys. We don't need a whole TV show. So very last thing in this episode, or these group of episodes, we do meet K2SO. He is a KX unit that fights Andor on Gorman. One of the Gorman guys, I can't remember his name. I don't think it's important. Hits K2SO with his vehicle, knocks him out, and I don't know what possesses Andor to take him with him, other than they already wrote Rogue One. But he's like, just throw him in the back. They take him to Yavin 4, reprogram him, and there he is. And we've got K2SO at the very end. His eyes light up, and Andor's got his new little best buddy.
I'm sorry if I've done something to offend you.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope we get I was hoping for more K2SO in the overall season 2 of Andor. I would have liked him to have been there most of the time because I just like K2SO. But
And then I think we get one more Rogue One character appearance 'cause at the very end, like on Yavin, when they're bringing new recruits, and then that girl, she's going through the weapons, and she says, "Whose blaster is this?" And then the one guy with the armor on or whatever, he's like, "I believe it's mine."
that's the guy from he's from the prison
Bro,
in season
bro,
1.
yeah, this is like a whole thing. So there's like I watched a video
Oh, that's where he's
online.
from.
Yeah, I watched a video online. This blaster has a long story, and it's been used by a couple of different people. And it's been in Star Wars media for like he said, Andor 1. It's in I don't know. There were a bunch of cuts of it. I think it's all in Andor, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about the blaster, but I do know about the guy that it belongs to. He was in the prison with Andor.
Gotcha.
I'll send you
Yeah.
the video. I mean,
I'd like to watch it.
The thing is that threw me off though from that video, because it's like a 20 or 30-second video. The guy from season 1 is not. It did not look like the same guy. That's like, oh, I think that's my blaster. Like it looked
Yeah.
like they were two different actors. They might not be. I might just be blind, but they looked completely different.
All right, guys, I think we've wrapped this one up pretty good. We've talked about all the major points that I think we wanted to hit. Other than the fact that I need a black ISB uniform with a cape, I do need that because that was a cool look. But other than that, let's rate this thing. Wesley, what are we rating these 3 episodes, 7, 8, and 9 of Andor season 2?
You know, this is what Star Wars is all about, man. Even with the slow and boring parts in quotation marks, that it's so captivating for me. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I'm gonna give this a 10.
Woo! Baby, perfect 10. I tell you what, man, I think it's just, I don't think there's slow. I think it's pacing, good pacing. I think that's what No slow
Oh,
parts.
yeah.
Even the slow parts are just good pacing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't.
Pacing. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't feel like any of the pacing was slow because I'm engaged with throughout all of it because I want to know every single detail. I actually appreciate the slower parts because it helps me keep up a little bit better. So,
Yeah.
but
They're doing
yeah,
what they're
man.
meant to do.
Yeah, definitely my favorite arc this season.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to see what next week holds for you. Andrew, what are you rating episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Andor Season 2?
Ooh, everything's deducted 1 point because there's no scroll, man. It's Star Wars.
Roll.
It's so.
Well, our scroll's at the end of our episode. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at least we're consistent with it. You know what I'm saying?
true. We put it on every episode.
Unlike Star Wars, which doesn't put it when they
Yeah.
should. Yeah. Thanks for agreeing. I appreciate that. No. For real. I'm gonna give this an 11, so -1. We'll give it a 10.
Oh,
I agree with
son.
Wesley 100%. I think this is the best Star Wars media we're ever gonna see. I don't know. If
these
we're gonna
3
get a lot-
episodes or this show as a whole?
These 3 episodes.
Okay.
I think that this alone, if it was a movie, I think that it would be in my top 3. I don't know if it would beat Empire Strikes Back. And I've kind of fallen in love with episode 3. I hate that because I remember I used to talk. But
Well,
after
that's
seeing
before
it
you
in
saw it
movies,
with the boys.
and then I also watched it again after that. It really makes a lot of sense, and a lot of my gripes are dumb gripes about, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm sidetracking. I'm sorry. I'm going to give it a 10, man. It's great. Cyril's story is great. It wrapped up. Deidre's story is great. It wrapped up. I mean, I don't know if it really wrapped up, but I guess it really wrapped up.
hers is to be
She's
continued.
alive.
Yeah, but I mean, her story doesn't matter anymore. And I mean, she might have some stuff come up, but they did a really, really good job of like showing the fascism and how easy it is. And they did a really good job of like murdering people just ruthlessly. And
Yeah.
they did a really good job with like the casting, and every single person is believed. There's not a single non-believable character in these 3 episodes at all, ever. There's no crazy, ridiculous dancing scene. There's no, I mean, this is just like, not that that's
Most important scene of the show. I'm still saying it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's
It's
just,
a joke. JK.
I just thought these 3 episodes were great, and if it was just a movie with no credit scenes in between, I would absolutely love it.
Very cool. Dietrich, where are we at on these 3 episodes? 7, 8, and 9. Andor Season 2.
I'm just really frustrated because I'm gonna have to disagree with Andrew and Wesley, and it's this issue that I just can't get over, and it's the fact that we'll never have a Palmo Plaza level in Battlefront 2. I'll never get to play on that world, so I'm gonna have to go with a 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got to deduct one for the scroll, right? No,
Okay, excuse me, a 10.5.
Wait.
10.5 minus 1.
10
Okay,
minus
cool.
1.
9.5. Here we are. But yeah,
But I completely agree with everything y'all said. I think it's great. Beautiful, just absolute cinema. If it was one movie,
Still
Very
cinema,
cool.
even though it's not one movie.
I'll tell you, man, these graphics are better than any graphics in movies that came out 10 years ago. So, dude, we're getting I mean, we really are in length, in graphics. It's a movie every week.
Oh, and
That's
can
how
I
I feel
point
about
out,
it.
there's not a single lightsaber.
Not one.
Pretty cool.
And we still love it.
there is still the Force, though, and that's
It
that.
binds us all
That I think
together.
it's important to bring it back to making sure that it is Star Wars and not just generic sci-fi evil
Western.
fascist government.
Yeah.
Yes, because we could just substitute the Force for magic. I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
Eh,
What's the difference?
I don't know. Ask a witch. So, my rating for this group of episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Andor Season 2, 9.5 right there with Dietrich. I think these are. It was a 10.5, no scroll. So got to bring it down a point. 9.5. These episodes go together so well. The Cyril story really gets you, man, because he had so much going on. He had so much nuance in his character, and then he's just dead. And a lot of times, I don't know, sometimes they kill a character off too soon, or they keep a character on too long. And I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like they dispensed of his character just perfectly. And I don't know, man, it's hard to put into words. These episodes are awesome together. You get Andor and Mon Mothma's story crossing. Finally, we finally get them put together on the same page. Luthen has kind of choreographed all this. We're finally getting to that point where we're getting to Rogue One. We're getting to A New Hope. We're getting to that era where it's the rebellion, the galactic civil war. And you can see where the Empire is kind of showing its cracks, showing that it's stressing a little bit. You can see the rebellion building up. And all of this is going to come together and create the original trilogy that we all love. So I think this is a great penultimate group of episodes. Can't wait to talk about next week. Can't wait to talk about the last Andor movie, as we've been calling them. The last 3 episodes. So yeah, 9.5. Thank you guys for tuning in to Dork Wars, the podcast. We envy your likes and subscribes. We want to hear from you. Check out dorkwarspodcast.com. Find out everywhere we stream. Find out about the Dork Wars merchandise store where we got a whole bunch of cool stuff for you to buy and wear, and just be like, I like Dork Wars. Even, even if you kind of like us. We got a cool logo. So check that out. Check out everywhere we stream. Like I said, like and subscribe to this video on YouTube. We are really pushing our YouTube content, our video content. We would love a like, subscribe, a comment, just a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anything. Let us know how we're doing. Interact with us. We're on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. Like our TikTok videos, like our posts on Facebook, comments. Like, let's just start talking to each other. We do this for you guys, and we love to do it. So thank you, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for supporting Dork Wars, the podcast. You can check us out on facebook.com/Dork Wars, the podcast. And if you would like to join in on the discussion, or maybe suggest topics for us to discuss, please do so by joining our Discord community or sending us an email at dorkwarspodcast@gmail.com. This has been a... Today we have a trip to Universal Studios production.